Welcome to another cartoon workshop. We're heading back into the non-mobile, but soon to be mobile hopefully, cartoon workshop, and today we're going to draw a chef. Now if any of you are fortunate enough to have somebody who's prepared a meal for you at any stage, this is where cartoons get really fun, because you can make this look like somebody you know as a bit of a thank you or a bit of making fun of them. But this is where we start, this little curved line here. A couple of lines going up, just follow me if you can, pause it if you get behind. And we've basically got a curved sort of rectangle shape there. That's the start of our cartoon. If you draw this with me, just as I'm doing it to start with, then you can modify it next time to look like somebody you know, you think might be a bit of a master chef or maybe gets it wrong. But you can have great fun with this. So that's our start of the hat, the chef's hat that we're wearing. And even though that person who's cooked you a meal doesn't wear a chef's hat, this is kind of looks like a chef, so you can still make fun of them like this. Okay, so these are just W and M shapes that we've used before to make a fluffy top on that chef's hat. You notice I've not started with the eyes because there aren't really any eyes on this cartoon. I am going to do a nose though. Now it can be any shape, long nose, whichever shape you want to do really. You got a big nose, small nose, but you can work on that later. I'll give you some options at the end of this bit, but I'm just doing a funny cartoon nose. It's like a back to front C shape with that little bit on the side just to give the shape of the nose. So hopefully you're keeping up a little bit so far. We've nearly got the head finished already. All I'm going to do now, can't see the mouth or the eyes, so it could look like anybody. It's only the nose that's a giveaway really. This is the collar on the chef's jacket. I don't know the official name for it. It's another long rectangle. And that's around about the head finished. You've done it already. And we're only a couple of minutes in. So we're going to start working on the body now. We'll start with the shoulder. And this is like an N shape. I've done it in 2 goes, you might be able to do it in 1. Don't know how confident you are, but don't worry about that. Confidence comes with practice, and you're drawing this for the first time. Okay, so we're carrying that line down. Actually, I'm drawing this for the first time, but I'm using things that I've drawn before, so I am kind of used to it. So it's a big long N shape, sorry. There's a little crease as the arm is going to fold, because the arm is going to be bent. We're coming out on an angle like this. Another square shape at the end and back. If you want to do a funny little elbow, you can do. And there's the first arm. So we've got the face and the arm. For extra detail, not really necessary, but a cuff on the end of that sleeve. And we're starting to take shape with our cartoon already. Working our way down the cartoon as I normally do. Okay, now this is the hand. It's a tricky one, but just follow me with it. It's a little triangle coming off that cuff at the top. Just up and down, triangle. Now the hand's going to be at a bit of an angle, so work with me on this. Might seem quite tricky because we've got to put the pan on there. So I'm going to do a little wobbly shape for the knuckles. You can just about see those. More detail and up. Doesn't have to join that thumb. And it's on a bit of an angle because we're going to put the handle of the pan in that hand in a minute. Okay, so that's the basics, that the arm and the head. Here's the pan coming off. I'm giving it movement, I'm making it a little bit curvy. Some pans are like that, but this could be just because there's so much food in this pan. As the person you're drawing such an amazing master chef. And it can be male, female, whichever you like. I'll show you how to modify that at the end. There's just a bit of detail on that pan handle, the way it's joined up to the actual pan part of the piece of kitchen equipment. And it's just a long, thin oval. And it's going to give it a little 3D shape if you can do that, a long, thin oval shape. you can follow it with another one and just close it at the end. Just another line to follow that other one. Now we can see inside the pan a little bit, and we can add things in there, which again, you can think about your favourite meal. You can make up stupid meals, or just draw whatever your character is going to be cooking. Now this is the body coming down. There's the chest and the back. Just 2 lines for the chest and back. Another little crease there, just to give the cartoon movement. So we've got the front and the back. We're moving down the tummy and the lower back. So the upper part of the body isn't far off now. If you follow me, you're doing well. I'm going to do a little triangle in the middle there to break up and give more movement again to that jacket and more detail. Like a little split in that jacket. Okay, these are the legs coming down. These are going to be chef's trousers. So I'm going to do them quite narrow at the bottom and quite wide at the top. I'm following that with the other leg. We can't see much of the other leg, so it's just a very fine line next to it. I'm going to close those off at the bottom before we add the feet. And funny little skinny ankles on there. And just 2 little lines. And how about that? The U shape at the bottom where the foot goes in. A little dome in front of that. And we've got a real basic shoe shape, but we can tell it's a shoe. So we don't have to go into too much detail, because the detail on this cartoon is what's going to be in the pan, which is going to follow in a minute, and also who that character is. So I'm going to have some flames coming off that pan. Maybe it's deliberate, maybe it's a mistake, who knows. The pan has caught fire, and you can have fun colouring that with yellows and reds. So just some W shapes, really, little wobbly W shapes linked up together. That's all you need to make those flames out of that pan. Now we don't see much of the other arm, so we're just going to see that cuff there, like the one we've just drawn on the other side. It's just a square latched onto the chest there. That's all it is. Now another triangle, it's the thumb, but because we're seeing it from a different angle, we see a bit more of the thumb, because we don't see it at all really on the other hand. So we'll just do a U shape on the end of that triangle like that. And this hand is going to be holding something, so we're going to add some fingers here. It's going to be gripping onto something. These like back to front C shapes and little round shape at the end for the thumb. I know it's not got enough fingers and thumbs, but it looks funny on the cartoon, so it doesn't really matter. Now here's a stick coming up. You might guess what it is. It's going to be like a spatula that chefs scoop their food around in the frying pan. So just a rectangle on the end of that stick, and for extra detail, long ovals, because it's got like little vents in them. So some essential kitchen equipment there, the pan and the spatula, and this chef who's cooking up a storm. There's some movement marks to show that the chef's busy creating this masterpiece. Now here are some chef's trousers. Now I know your character who's in the kitchen cooking for you probably doesn't wear these, but this is what professional chefs tend to wear, so again you'll be making fun of them a little bit, even if they make a mess of the food. Making out that they're master chefs is funny, and if they're a really good chef, it'll be quite flattering, so you can't really lose with this cartoon. It will raise a laugh. And you can colour those in. I always seem to go wrong doing checks like that. I start to colour in the wrong ones, so don't worry, that's practice. But you see how they join up there. You can have a play with that anyway. There's some little movement marks on the pan, rustling the pan around. I'm going to draw a really basic stove, basic oven, because again this isn't the important part of the cartoon. So I'm just doing a square and then a couple of angles coming off there, so just give it a little 3D. But again, this isn't the main focus of the cartoon, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. There's like a gas ring or electric ring. There's the back on the cooker, just to give the impression that the chef's cooking on something. If you want to go into more detail, you can. If you want to learn how to draw cookers, just send us a message on the YouTube channel. There's one dedicated there for the cartoonists. Okay, here comes some food that is flicking out of that pan. This is a garlic. It's like an oval shape with some little springy bits at the top. That's a basic garlic bulb. Here's an egg. This is where you can have fun because you can draw anything. What sort of recipe is this? Garlic, mushrooms, eggs. Quite sensible so far. You can go crazy with yours. You can have anything. How about a banana? It's a delicious looking meal. This is where you can really have fun with this cartoon. Just look around, look in the fridge, have a practice at drawing a few things and sketch them in. There's a fried egg to go with the other egg. The whole egg there flying up in the air. And what can you have? Anything. Here is a tomato. And like I say, just have a look around the kitchen, see what's around. You can have anything. You can have a loaf of bread, you can have whatever you think. There's another tomato in there. And if you're feeling a bit ambitious, here's a pepper. I'm drawing this really quick because I've drawn peppers a few times, so I'm a bit practiced at it. So that was a really delicious menu that's going on there. But you can put anything you want flying out of that pan. You've got plenty of room to draw it as well. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and let me know what you'd like to draw and leave us a comment. Here I'm just doing some super fast shading. I'm not this quick, so I've speeded it up a bit so you just get the general impression. If you want to turn this in more female, you can put a little ponytail, or it could be a male with a ponytail, who knows. It's completely up to you who this character is. There's just some shading on that pan. You can see I've given it a 3D look just by shading heavily on the outside of the pan with a little bit lighter in the middle. Skin tone is up to you. Just have a play. A bit of shadow here and there. The colour of that hair could be anything. You don't have to have any hair at all. And what I'm going to show you, once I've put my signature on it, which you must do too, I'm going to show you a few variations of how you can change the face. If you want a longer nose, that's it at the start. If you have a go at drawing the whole thing again, but give it a face that looks something like anybody who's prepared you a meal you want to have a little bit of a laugh and a joke with. You say, hey, yeah, this is you, and put the name across the top. There's more of a flat face with a smiley face. You can put a mouth on there. This one, oh, the pan's caught fire. Furious, this one, look at that. And they could be male or female, any of these. You know, as long as you put their name across it to tell them it's them, they'll burst out laughing. I can guarantee they'll pin it on their fridge door. There's a little nose and a smiley face. There's a bit of a big nose. I've got a bit of a big nose. Okay, and there's a collar again. That might look a bit more like somebody you know. A pair of round specs. And a pair of eyebrows. Just put them floating above the cartoon. Just have real fun with it, because this will cause a real laugh in the kitchen. There's a massive nose. How about that? A little moustache going on. Maybe they've got a beard. You can put a beard on it or a moustache. So have a play. Make it look like somebody you know. Put the name on it. Watch them stick it on the fridge. This one's a really cool one. Got a pair of shades. Loads of variations there. Have a play with it. Draw it a few times. Join the Cartoonery gang. Just let me know you're out there. And maybe get like Jacob. Do some fantastic work. You do the vulture there. And join us on Facebook, Instagram, Cookie Cartoonery. I'll see you on the next workshop.